The fundamental or foundational piece of work that I do is what I call the Radical Aliveness Retreat. It's 9 or 10 days. In Europe, because people have more holidays, we can take an extra day, and the extra day helps. But in the United States, it's a 9-day retreat. And the whole focus of the retreat are to take individuals, whether they're beginners or have had a lot of experience, and give them a deep contrast with their ordinary life, is that they're learning not only cognitively, and in some sense less cognitively than they're learning with feeling, with their hearts, and very, very especially in their bodies with their bodies. And so it's a highly experiential work, paced in a very specific way, intensity, rest, always enough rest, but when there is real intensity, that is designed to call forth something in an individual. And then I reflect back to people. I say, what now out of this is emerging in you? What insight is coming from you? What are you beginning to understand? People don't spend a lot of time at Radical Aliveness asking me questions. I ask them questions, and I ask them what they know. And because of the situations, experiential dynamics that I use in Radical Aliveness, what they know is emerging from them because they're being presented with opportunities to do things they would never ordinarily do. Things with their bodies, things with their voices, things with movement. Maybe they've done something similar to that in some other practice or discipline, but the overall vision for how all of this experiential work is held is, I think, quite unique. And as a result, people learn to, or actually internalize and understand what they've been reading. Suddenly they really deepen in their understanding of meditation if they've been exploring it. Suddenly there is a whole new world that opens up to them in terms of how psyche speaks to us through dreams. But they're learning in their bodies. And I call it radical aliveness because as you get closer and closer and closer to, I don't want to call it a unification, but an integration of mind, physicality, and feeling, then your internal reality and the external reality seem to become one, and everything is vivid. The colors are brighter, and the internal stress and settles, so that what happens is you see clearly, and you see yourself clearly, and people fall in love with themselves, which surprises them. They fall in love with being a man or fall in love with being a woman, and they learn to find a space of real forgiveness for the kinds of things inside of them they've been ashamed of. And it happens, it's not magic, but it happens, I want to use the word magically. It's not magic at all. It's a highly and precise art form that I've been honing for 35 years. But it happens because they're learning from the inside out. And there's no belief system involved. They don't have to place themselves in conflict with anything they've ever learned before, because they're learning in the immediacy of the present moment with their body, with their feeling. And then their thinking starts to integrate what they're experiencing, and it makes sense of their lives. And that's why it's radical, because it comes right from the core, right from the root, which is the meaning of the word, the fundamental or root, from which everything else emerges. And aliveness, which doesn't translate well in French or in many languages, it's a kind of, in English we can get away with this word, but it's more than ordinary vitality. It's something feels so connected inside and outside. There is quite a profound state of oneness, and everybody touches it, not necessarily at the same time, but everyone there touches it to some degree. And it is very healing emotionally, very healing psychologically, and sometimes really quite healing physically.